I am dual streaming today for the very first time. I feel so fancy, and I also feel like I'm just going to continue to not look in anyone's eyes. Hey everyone! Oh, hello! Hey Miss B! Oh, friends are coming on live. Hi! Hello, hello. This is my first time dual streaming on Facebook and Instagram, and so excuse me while I go back and forth. But I wanted to pop in to go over a couple of things with you today. One of them is I want to check in on how everyone is. Like, no BS. How are you? Where are you in the world? Some people are going to be in different situations depending on where you are in the world. Yes, Bianca, that hair though. I know, I felt like I had to come live to show you guys my new hair. This once every year time when I actually get my hair done and sit in a chair and, sit still for 4 hours in a row. So I had to come on and show everyone my hair. But I really wanted to come in and check in with you guys, see how you are, how you're doing, what's up in your businesses, in your lives right now. And also, I last night had kind of this aha moment where I realized that, or re-realized that it's when we keep trying to really plan the outcome, like over plan, over strategize, overthink, that we restrict the magic and momentum that's happening in our lives and our businesses. And sometimes the magic happens when you just jump in. Like, it's messy, it's imperfect. You go live, you have a chat with your community, and you check in and you say hi and you share some wisdom. And I think what I've been in really lately is, and if you have done the Clifton Strengths Finder, you'll understand when I talk about my top 5 strengths in Clifton Strengths Finder. We can show up in our strengths, but when we're too much in our strengths, they turn into weaknesses. So my top 4 strengths are strategy, activator, which is doing, maximizer, which is trying to make kind of like the most out of everything, out of every opportunity, to make the most out of people's talents and potential, and including my own. And then also futuristic, which is all about planning for the future and living into the future. And so those are 4 of my top strengths, and I've been too much in those strengths in the last probably 3 weeks. And coupled with what's happening in the world at the moment, it's just been a lot in my head. And so what I found in my business, and I feel like when I share something that's going on for my business and my life, then there's somebody who it's going to be relevant for as well. But what I found is there's just been so much noise. And it's really stopped me from just showing up, just showing up and sharing my story. And I know that happens to a lot of women in my team that I work with. There's trying to plan that perfect outcome, or trying to plan the perfect launch, or trying to plan the perfect workshop, try to plan the next step to the next goal, and then you miss the opportunity to just show up and be in your magic and just show your face and jump on Instagram when it feels scary to go live, or Facebook, and just invite people into your homes and into your life and into your story, which is really the foundation of building any business, but particularly in my business in the last 5.5 years, that's what I've done. I've invited you all into my home to see what we do as a family in our health, what we do in our, like, as I work from home, and inviting you guys into that story. So I'm committing to showing up here every day for the next 30 days and just seeing what conversation that we can have together, but also really demonstrating and being a model for you of what it looks like to just show up in the imperfect, messy middle. And no matter what's happening, some days I'll probably have my little guy here with me on my lap and just be chatting with you about some of my favorite business tips. Some days I might be here by myself. Today I got probably like a 30-minute window where I'll get to have some time to myself. My husband's just gone to do school drop off and taken Jasper with him. So I'm like, yeah, time to hop on live and show my face and say hi to you guys. But I also wanted to take you guys through this, which is one of my favorite books, Braving the Wilderness by Brené Brown. And I'm not going to do a review. I'm not going to go into detail of it, but I really wanted to remind you guys of why this book is so important right now. Because I read this book probably, I don't even know when it was written, but it was probably written a good 3-4 years ago. And I read it as soon as it came out. If you love Brené Brown and you're anything like me, as soon as she announced she had a book coming out, I was like, pre-order. I didn't even know what the title was, but I was like, yes, I'm doing it. And so, yes, I know Brene Brown's so good, isn't she? So I pre-ordered that. I read it, Braving the Wilderness. And at the time, it was really relevant. I think there was I'm pretty sure it was around the time maybe when there was a lot of initial upheaval. Maybe it was even when Trump was first voted in. And there was a lot of upheaval going on in the US. There's a lot of talking about here in the US about gun laws and the response to gun laws in the US. And so there's like so many really, really juicy, big conversations in here. But I went back to the book recently because I was thinking, this is a book about really finding the truth of what you want to share and showing up and speaking your truth and braving that wilderness that feels scary. Because we all want to feel like we belong. And so sometimes when we're speaking whatever's truthful for us, then that jeopardizes that sense of belonging, and it's really hard to continue to find the courage to speak up and share what we believe to be true in our lives and in our purpose as well. But what I love about this book is that it encourages you to brave that wilderness, to really brave that feeling of maybe the disconnect in belonging, to feel like you belong to yourself, like you are being true to yourself, because that is the most important belonging there is, right? Oh, hey, Kathy. Hey, honey. And the other thing is, though, it also really goes over, and this is just my personal belief, that the importance of, even when you're standing up for what you believe in, there's a way to do that with a kind heart, and to also have a compassionate ear to listen to people who may have really different opinions to us. And so I love the contents. I'm just going to have a look at couple of the contents. So one of the chapters is, people are hard to hate close up, move in. So get to know people. What I'm seeing on Facebook these days, what I'm seeing in everywhere at the moment is just this. In my feed, I don't know what yours is like, but my feed is very opposing. And so there's people with very different opinions. And what we see and what Brene talks about is that ability to get close to those people, listen to where they're coming from, because at the end of the day, we all are completely passionate about what we believe in, because we believe it to be the best possible option for ourselves and for our family. And usually there's no malice behind that. And so when we start to listen to other people and actually hear what they're saying, and understand where they're coming from, then that debate isn't so intense as well. Hold hands with strangers, again, get to know people instead of making snap decisions and judgments. Speak truth to bullshit, but be civil. My friends, I'm singing this to you on Facebook. If you are someone who gets into arguments on Facebook all the time, you know that quote, something like, I swear I will not get into arguments on Facebook with strangers. There are so many arguments happening on Facebook right now, and I just want to encourage you guys to be civil, to always remember to come back to a place of compassion and love, even if someone has a completely different opinion to you. And again, I have friends at the moment who are in the very opposite camp to each other. They have very different beliefs. And the beautiful way that I'm seeing some people show up is voicing their opinions and voicing their beliefs, but not attacking someone else, not attacking them for their beliefs as well. So, and then strong back, front heart. This is what happens when you go live. Strong back, soft front, wild heart. Oh my God. Anyway, I'm not going to talk you about the whole book because that would be the most boring live ever. But I did want to just tell you guys to go on back and reread that book if you haven't picked it up for a while, or if it's a new book to you, go and pick up Braving the Wilderness by Brene Brown, because this is like the perfect time for you to dive into all of that conversation about what it's like to brave the wilderness at the moment, when there's such a divide and there's so many different opinions and there's so much noise. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at. For those of you who've just jumped in, I just want to say, hey, I'd love to know where you're watching from. I'd love to know how you are. How are you? Are you great? Are you not great? I think these days, I heard Brene Brown actually talking on her podcast the other day, and I heard her say that at the moment, it's not really the space where you say, oh, I'm okay. Like if someone says, how are you? be honest, because this has been a really crazy year. And I went to go get my hair cut yesterday and got a little color through it, a little bit of blonde through it. And my hairdresser and I were just talking about like what this year's really been like for us. And it was interesting to hear her perspective as well about people that have come into her chair and had their hair cut recently. And some people are really stuck in fear, some people are great. And so everyone's having a really different experience in the world right now. And again, really, I think it's so important that we come back to compassion on that as well. What do you say, Bianca? Bianca, you definitely need this book. Can't believe I haven't read it. Oh my gosh, you haven't read it? That is surprising. You are the queen of self-development and growth. And Kathy's in Canada, and I know you're in Canada, and you're doing great. You're amazing. Kathy is a incredible first responder. I'm going to call you a first responder because you're in the hospital and you're doing amazing things, and you're wearing a mask all day. I'm guessing still wearing a mask all day, and just, yeah, you're incredible. Hi, Claire. Hi, everyone. This is me showing up and showing my face for the first time in a very long time, and partly because I got my hair did yesterday, and partly because I have a new self-challenge where I'm going to show up every day for 30 days and to have a chat with you guys and see where you're at, and also drop a little bit of tidbit of information. Today I'm talking about Brene Brown's book, Braving the Wilderness, because I think if you're in, I don't want to even say if you're in business. If you're in business, it's an essential, but it's actually a life essential right now to read this book. The other thing that I was going to say has completely flipped out. Oh, no, I got it. What I was going to say is that before I love you and leave you for this very quick impromptu live this morning, where I'm taking advantage of having 2 hands and no children in my life, I did want to say that I want to encourage you guys today to have a think if you are an entrepreneur. So if you're an entrepreneurial person and you're tuning into this, I want to encourage you to have a think about what it is you are calling yourself in your business at the moment. And the reason for that is because I came up with a new kind of name or a title for myself in the last week. I was thinking about how to best describe myself, what I do, and sometimes in business we get stuck in these boxes or these labels, or we just feel like, well, I'm in this business, so I have to call myself this. Or, you know, a lot of people that are in here in this community run doTERRA businesses because that's how I've built my business in the last 5 years, predominantly. And so I was thinking, you know, what is it that I want to show up as to support my mission and my purpose, and how can I kind of create a title around that makes sense to people? And it was an interesting process to go through as a woman, as a business owner, to feel myself pulling myself back into this box, which I didn't need to be in. And in the end, I called myself a holistic business mentor and strategist. Did I make that up? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. But I also want to encourage you guys to make up your title. Like, make it up. What do you want to be? What is your mission? How do you want to serve people? So for me, I want to show up and support entrepreneurial women in creating multiple 6-figure businesses, because for me, that is the point where women start to create real freedom in their lives, or financial autonomy, financial wealth, you know, the list goes on. And what we know, like statistically what we know, is that women, when they earn money, but they support their community. About 70% go out and support their community. So you pay women more money and everyone benefits. And you pay men more money, and generally about 30% of those people will pass it on to their community, their family, and others. And it's just a different thing when women earn more money. And again, statistically, I'm not bagging men. I'm married to my husband. I love him. But statistically, when women earn more money, they help the entire population, the entire world. We create so much elevation when we earn more, because we are just wired to give and to lift and to inspire and to empower. And so I want you guys to really think about the perspective of, you know, if you're holding on to any money thoughts of earning more, sometimes we have this limiting belief that is sort of like, well, I'm earning enough. And I've had this told to me so many times by women who I work with, oh, but I earn enough. Like I'm at the limit where I'm really comfortable, I'm paying my bills, da da da. And I'm like, yes, but think bigger. And it's not just think bigger in terms of a house or a nicer car, although I never ever will judge you for wanting those things, because spend your money on whatever you want. But also, what is the possibility when you earn more? And so that's what I'm really about. Like I'm really about supporting women in who are entrepreneurial in earning bigger amounts of money, and again, multiple six-figure incomes, so they can go out and they can help really shift the power in this world through earning more money and to elevating people. And so I called myself this holistic business mentor because obviously doTERRA is a holistic business model. I'm very passionate about incorporating the essential oils into helping people elevate their health, elevate their emotions, elevate their mind, just like elevate through the oils, because they are so pure. And it's just pure plants and aroma, and literally it's in the word, right? Aroma therapy. You are providing therapy to your body through the aromas of plants. And so I'm passionate about doing that, which is obviously a very holistic model in terms of the health and the well-being aspect. But I'm also really passionate about the holistic nature of growing a business, because we are women and we work differently to men. I've had so many great conversations with my husband in the last probably month, as we've both just been really trying on for size some different ways of showing up in our business, and also realizing that we work differently. And a lot of that is because he is a man and I'm a woman, and so we connect differently with our businesses, we work differently. Women are cyclical. And so I put my hand up and will say 100% of the time that I've been known to say, be consistent, show up every day, da 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 da, which is absolutely what I have done in my business. However, I am now very, very much aware that we as women work better when we're actually aligned with our natural cycles. Like we are like nature. We work in cycles. There's sometimes when you're going to show up and you're going to want to be like this. You're going to want to be in front of people and talking and extroverted, and then there's sometimes where you're going to want to curl up in a ball and be like in this cocoon and be comfortable and not show up visually, but maybe you'll in that week be more likely to write or connect with people in different ways. And so how we show up at different phases during the month is different, and that's how we show up as women. So holistic business mentoring is really about supporting people in creating a business that works with them, and it's not a male model. The male business model tells us to bust our balls and to go hard and to show up every day no matter what, and to be consistent and do more with less. But I've said this a million times before in one-on-one conversations, that women have been asked to do more with less for centuries. And so whether you're in the household and you're looking after a budget, and it's like, okay, I've got to make this budget stretch as far as I can go with as least amount as possible, or you're working at home with kids and you're like, I've got 1 hour, how much can I do in this 1 hour? How effective and efficient can I be? That is just one way at one point of the month where you can show up in your business. But it's not a way that's probably going to feel great for every woman at every time of the month. So holistically looking at your business, holistically looking at how to show up and be you within your business, especially showing up as a woman, and then bringing in obviously the essential oils to help you elevate your health and your wellness and your mind and your heart and how you're connected. There is so much here. So I did not mean to go on that tangent about me at all. I actually meant to go on a tangent about how I really want to encourage you guys to look at, what are you calling yourselves? Like if you have a doTERRA business, if you have an online business that's not doTERRA, if you are a coach, if you are, you have a traditional bricks and mortar business, whatever it is, what are you calling yourself? And please know that you can pull that name out of a hat. Like you can call yourself whatever you want. And the only thing that's going to make a difference with how people connect to it is how you present that to them. So if you have your shoulders back and you're confident, you're like, yeah, I'm a holistic business mentor. In your head, you're thinking, did I make that up? Yes, I did. But people don't need to know that. You just, call yourself whatever you want to call yourself, and be very proud of what skills you're bringing, what purpose you're bringing, and what passion you're bringing to whatever it is your business model is. It's been an absolute pleasure to hang with you guys this morning for a couple of minutes, and to just show my face and to have some conversation, because you guys are on here and I love hanging out on Instagram, I love hanging out on Facebook, and I'm going to be showing up more for you guys. If there's any topics that you want me to cover, I am always open to suggestions, but other than that, I'm going to just come in and hang with you guys and sprinkle a little goodness here and there. I'm also launching my podcast in the next month, and so I have so much juicy goodness coming your way. But I'm also getting used to really honoring, again, what I was talking about with the cycles. I'm getting used to really honoring when it's the right time to show up and to be speaking and to be recording podcasts. And so I'm not smashing that out. I'm not rushing that through like I usually would, or what would be usually expected. But I'm really honoring what it feels like to just, to just show up and record when that is what's right for the cycle that I'm currently in. All right, my loves, I love you lots, and I can't wait to hang with you guys over the next month as I just come in and hang and talk and connect. And I hope you guys are all great, but feel free to flick me in the comments down below once I jump off any questions you have or any suggestions you have for future lives as well. Mwah! Bye, everyone.